Welcome to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with Rebecca Hall Gruyter. In our program each week, we provide the tools, ideas, and encouragement to help you move ahead on your journey, becoming a more powerful and impactful woman in your own life. Now here's your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter.
Welcome, everyone. I hope you're having an amazing day. Thrilled to have you joining us. Welcome, welcome. And it is the beginning of February. It's a great time of the year to look at how are we moving forward in those areas that matter most. I like to look at it as springing forward. What are we doing to help us spring forward? And today we're going to be focusing on how to live an inspired life. I feel like it's much easier to be able to spring forward when we're inspired, when we're encouraged, when we are on purpose and are not only having clarity on where we want to go, but we're feeling that motivation and that inspiration to keep moving forward in the areas that matter most. So that's what we're focused on today, to help you live an inspired, purpose-filled life. Thrilled to have you leaning in and spending this precious time with us. And I want you to be able to get the most out of our time together. So to support that, it's really important that we come together on purpose. We're fully present so you can receive everything that is here for you, because it is not an accident you tuned in today. I know by the very nature that you did that there is something here for you, and I want you to be able to receive everything that is available to you. So let's open our ears to hear, our hearts to receive. Those of you who are driving, please keep both hands on the wheel, just inwardly tuning in. I want you safe, no texting and driving. Those of you who are able to, let's put both feet on the floor. Feel it supporting us. Sit back in the chair. Put one hand on your heart, one hand on your head, bringing you all in, mind, body, soul, and spirit. And let's take a deep breath, breathing in through our nose. And actually breathe all the way down to your toes. See, in fact, how big you can make your belly. And then breathe out through your mouth, like through a straw. Take another deep breath. Beautiful. Can't do this wrong. And keep breathing deeply and purposefully. When we bring oxygen to every cell of our body, it helps us become present, reduces stress levels or cortisol levels. And when we have oxygen in every cell of our body and we're more present, we get more clarity, we can make better choices, so that as we go back out into the world, we're doing it on purpose and with great purpose. So keep breathing, enjoying that beautiful oxygen. Wonderful. And in this space, eyes closed, as you're listening, heart, mind, body, soul, and spirit, what is it that you need today? What is it that will encourage you, uplift you, inspire you? What is it that you need today to support you and living in an inspired way? What is it you need? And are willing to receive, because you have choice. So what is it that you're needing and willing to receive? We have to be willing to receive. And in fact, I'm going to encourage you to dial this up and add in that you, not only it's what you need and are willing to receive, but they're looking forward with anticipation to that need being met in an unexpected way. You're not attached to the how. You're not even responsible for figuring out the how in any way. It's that you are clear on what it is you need, and you're open, willing to receive in whatever amazing way that need is filled. Breathe that in, that information, that insight. Come back into the room, eyes open, fully present. Wonderful. Great. And as you're leaning in, eyes open, fully present, what is it that was laid on your heart? I want you to take a moment and put it down on paper. Write it down. Make a quick note. Get it out of you so you can see it, interact with it, feel it. It's so easy to get distracted and forget when that need actually is being met right in front of us, and we miss it because we get distracted and move on to the next shiny object or the next thing that is demanding attention. And I want to encourage you to be on the lookout for exactly what you need. I think that's important to living an inspired life and being willing to receive it and lean in and be surprised at how that need can be met real time in unexpected ways. Let's breathe that in. Beautiful. Hopefully you all have written that down, and I'm going to encourage you, bring that note with you throughout the day. Keep it top of mind. Be on the lookout for what it is that you need and are willing to receive. And as we connect in deeper and deeper together today, I'm going to go around our virtual room and invite each of our amazing guest experts that are going to pour into us today to share just 10 to 15 seconds when we stopped, paused, and listened for a moment. What was laid on their heart? Beautiful. So, Mark, I would love for you to share what was laid on your heart when we took a moment to stop, pause, and listen.
Thank you, Rebecca. What was laid on my heart when we stopped, paused, and reflected was simply this. Inject the belief into yourself that everything you wish and desire to manifest is within your power. All you have to do is go inside and tap into it.
Oh, I love that. It felt so rich and beautiful that everything that we wish and desire is within our power to receive and bring in. Thank you. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Thank you, Rebecca.
And absolutely. And Tamara, what was laid on your heart?
Satisfaction.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
Uh-huh. Because
Beautiful.
I feel like in order to receive and to be happy, you must be satisfied with where you are, at the present time, the present moment. And
Yes.
sometimes we forget to feel satisfied because we want more. But in order to get more, we have to be happy. We have to live in the present, and we have to
Yes.
kind of be satisfied with the present moment.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Really appreciating and being satisfied with where we're at, too, as we're leaning in and bringing in more. Beautiful. Love it. Love it. Thank you. And Jess, how about you? What was laid on your heart?
Refresh and replenish, basically taking the time to, stop, take a deep breath, cast my cares off, my concerns, the stress of the day, and just kind of just let it go and then refocus.
Ah, beautiful. And didn't that feel good, everybody? Casting off the cares and the worries and just really allowing ourselves to breathe and be refreshed. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Listeners, how about you? As we're getting ready to go to our first commercial break here, I'm going to encourage you to use this time to stay present and really listen to what's being poured into your heart and spirit. Receive it. Allow yourself to breathe, be refreshed, appreciate where you are, and look forward to all that you want to bring into your life and into your spirit. And we'll look forward to continuing the conversation with you in just a moment.
Be sure to friend us on Facebook. You can do it right now. Visit facebook.com/Voice America or search for us at keyword Voice America.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Get Unchained. Tune in every Monday for Jane Unchained on the Voice America Influencers channel, featuring nationally recognized best-selling author, TV journalist, and social media influencer Jane Velez Mitchell. This program takes you inside a trending lifestyle that's the next wave of human evolution. It all starts on your plate. If you want to revolutionize your life, get happier, more energized, then discover the secret. Tune in to Jane Unchained Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time and 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Influencers channel.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
We don't follow, we lead. Join us, the Voice America Influencers channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope that you're having an amazing time taking a moment to allow yourself to pause, breathe, integrate, replenish, let yourself be poured into. You're going to have these moments throughout the show. They range from 1.5 to 2 minutes, and it gives you an opportunity to stop, pause, breathe, and integrate real time what's being spoken into your heart and spirit. It's so easy to add things to the to-do list and run off and move back into our day unchanged. And I want to invite you to shift that, stay present, resist the urge to cross things off the to-do list, and allow yourself to integrate on a cellular level what's being shared with you. That way, when you go back out into the world, you're able to do it in an inspired and purposeful way. So enjoy those moments where we wove them throughout the day to support you. Throughout the show, I should say, I'm going to invite you to bring them into the day to support you in all that you're wanting to bring forward. We're going to start our formal interview segment here. We have just amazing guests. You got to hear from them on a heart level at the opening of the show. And I wanted to go a little bit more deeply into a conversation with each of them so that you can get encouraged and inspired by their information and insight. So the first expert I'm excited to introduce to you is Mark Edward Pyle. He is a scribe, prophet, master self, and soul reader, has over 40 years experience in this arena using numerous modalities to reach in and read into the master self, helping people tune in and step into their greater master self that is calling them forward. He's an ordained minister, #1 international best-selling author, and is passionate about helping you step into your master self. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Mark Edward Pyle to the show. Welcome.
Well, thank you, Rebecca. That is the most outstanding introduction I have ever had. Thank you. Thank you much.
Oh, you are so welcome. I'm thrilled to have you here today. And I'd love for you to share a little bit about why this work of helping people tap into the master self, why is that personally so important to you?
Well, Rebecca, it's personally important to me because once we tap into our mastered self, once we tap into our soul core level, the mundaneness of everyday life and the hang-ups and the issues, those become so less important when we are walking around with a full complement of our soul energy, and when we are established and secure in our mastered self. Those things that are trivial, that really have nothing to do with the betterment and improvement of our lives, really just kind of fall to the wayside and slot themselves in the lower regions of our normal day. We can live optimal lives by just tapping in to our master self.
I love that. And I hope that's inspiring. And I hope our listeners are feeling that energy too, that we can do that, that we have that ability. Yeah. Go ahead.
It is so amazing. Yeah. It's not anything that any of us have to go out and purchase. There's nothing to buy. And none of us are inadequate in the ability to tap into our master self, to tap into our soul. Everyone can do it. Doesn't matter if you're young or old. It doesn't matter if you're rich or poor. Doesn't matter what side of the tracks you come from. We all have access to our master self.
Beautiful. And before we go too much further into this conversation, I'd love for you to share what you mean by master self.
What I mean by master self, I mean allowing yourself to live your highest good. Your master self is deep inside of you, and it has all of your highest desires, all your highest goals, and your best lifestyle and ways of living are at your disposal. Unless and until we connect with that higher self, we connect with our master self, we walk around in the trivialities of mundane life, and we get caught up in the useless discussions and the useless realities that go on from day to day. Tapping into your master self allows you to rise above the mundane things of 3D and live an optimal, comfortable, self-sustaining spiritual life.
Beautiful. Thank you. I just know that that's terminology sometimes that may not be familiar to all of our listeners. And so I thought it would be good to make sure we're all on the same page. And what a beautiful description. And it's inspiring to know that we can do this. We have that ability. And we can rise above, and that we have what we need, and we can live in that space. And that's what you're talking about as we're talking about our master self. Now, I'd love to say, so looking at that, how can we start to infuse inspiration? Because that's such a beautiful way of living and stepping in, but we can have those things, that noise still hit us. How can we stay in that inspired, encouraged space?
Infusing inspiration into one's daily life is as simple as walking outside first thing in the morning, listening to the birds chirp, watching the sunrise, looking up at the stars. If you go out early like I do, you see the stars still in the sky. But it's just appreciating the natural beauty of all of creation. Our inspiration comes from inside of our soul. And when we tap into the beauty that is the universe, when we tap into the joy that is this human experience, and when we tap into that love that none of us have to be taught how to do when we come here, that is where our inspiration lies, and that is how we can infuse the inspiration into our lives.
Beautiful. And it sounds like there's a real purposefulness in this, and building that way of being into our life to support us and sustain us and help us connect and tap in. Is there something that supports you when there's an obstacle, when there's a challenge, that you're daily infusing? Is there a way that you dial it up when that thing hits, when that challenge hits? Not if, because when we have those things that come. What do you do to help spring forward even when there are challenges or obstacles or even stagnation that can come?
I'm glad you asked that, because for the majority of us, regardless of where we are on the evolutionary path, stagnation and needing to spring forward always hits each one of us. Whenever there's an obstacle, whenever there is an outcome that is not to my desiring, I purposefully choose gratitude, and I purposefully choose to see the lesson that is in the obstacle, or the lesson that is in the undesirable outcome. Instead of focusing in on what I did not receive, I focus in on what is it in this situation that I need to improve myself, to improve my lifestyle, to improve the things that I am striving to manifest. I purposefully choose the better thought.
I love that. So it's choosing your perspective. in those times and taking ownership of that in such a powerful way. Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate it. Oh, listeners, we're getting ready to go to our next commercial break. I hope you've gotten some great inspiration and insight from the amazing Edward Pyle. I encourage you during this next break to take a moment to stop, pause, breathe, and integrate, and tap in, tune in. See what can inspire and support you, and take a look at your perspective. How are you looking at things? And is it in such a way that is serving you and where you're wanting to go? Is it helping you rise up? We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Think you've seen everything there is to see in online television? Let us surprise you. Visit voiceamerica.tv today for sports, health, business, and more on demand 24/7.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Sustainable success is just around the corner. If you are an entrepreneur, business leader, or anybody looking for their next level of success, tune into Sustainable Success with host Chris Salem. Did you know that the path to success is a long path that started many years ago? The path you started on then determines what is happening now. Chris and his amazing guests in their field will help you navigate the path to sustainable success every Thursday at 12 noon Eastern Time and 9 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Influencers Channel.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation. Change starts here. Change starts now. Join us, the Voice America Influencers Channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed those minute, 2 minutes just for you to stop, pause, breathe, and integrate. And we're going to continue our conversation. Our next amazing guest is an expert in connecting with people, building rapport, building relationships, and especially doing that online, using technology to support you in that way. Because I've learned life is not a solo journey. I don't know where that myth got started. I don't know why we sometimes forget and think it is. It's not. We get to be on this journey in such a powerful way by coming together. And I feel like our next expert approaches social media in a way to really build strong relationships and help you do that in a way that is powerful, warm, and effective. So I'm really excited to introduce Jess Tiffany to you. He is a #1 international best-selling author, a speaker, marketing consultant and strategist, a CEO of Marketing and Networking University, and is absolutely passionate about helping you grow your reach through powerful connections. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing and powerful Jess Tiffany to the show. Welcome!
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Excited to have you. Oh, you're very welcome. My pleasure. thrilled to have you here today, and I'd love for you to share a little bit about why. Why is this work of helping people connect online, use some of the social media outlets out there powerfully? Why is that work personally so important to you?
Well, it is a new technology, newer technology, but it really gets down to, like you said, building relationships. It gives you an avenue to reach the people that you desire to build relationships with them. And if you take the time, you can build strong, quality relationships with people, even online. And, obviously, if you ever, fly to New York where that person is or something, you can always catch them for a cup of coffee and things like that. But it really starts with that immediate conversation, kind of a soft approach. You don't want to be salesy through social media, because I do use it for business, but you want to build relationships first, build the trust, and then the business will follow.
Thank you for sharing that. I think sometimes we have this view about building sales funnels in a bit of a cynical way, like we're trying to do a numbers game, or we're trying to look at names as names rather than people and individuals. And we can sometimes get a little bit jaded in social media and feel like it's not connecting. And yet I feel like you've turned that perspective around in how you approach business and online and building those connections. And like you said, you can go and meet with them when you fly to New York and have a cup of coffee, but this is a starting point. So why is it important that we do spend time and energy online, and that we can, because it sounds like there's no question that we can build powerful relationships in that way? Why is it important that we do that?
Yeah. Well, kind of like I talk about in the book, and also through our mastermind groups that we do, is basically, it's all about building that relationship again, and just, but taking the time to get into things, find out things that you have in common, and talk about those things. What schools did you go to? What groups are you in? Like my book's on LinkedIn. What books are you in? Liking their stuff, sharing their stuff, sending them a note saying, "Hey, wow, that was powerful and it impacted my life." And you kind of get that soft bond built up, and then you can actually get into other things and say, "Hey, man, I've enjoyed chatting with you. I love your stuff. I think we can have some good collaboration points that we can talk about." And you get on the phone, and then magic seems to happen. But it's all about doing that repetitively. And we teach you to build a dream funnel. So basically, find your ideal customers, your ideal clients, your dream clients, your dream mentors, your future employees, and you basically connect to all of them proactively. Build your funnel, and they see your stuff daily. And then, as you can, you contact each one and build relationships one at a time through that process.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. And I can testify that you walk your talk. I mean, you are such a cheerleader for so many of the things that we're doing. And what I mean by that is you appreciate, you share it out, you comment on it. It keeps you top of mind with me. We're always happy to have you on our program and show, because we know that you're coming in a collaborative way and will share great information with our listeners, but you also help us get the message out. And I love how you approach everything in that way. Every interaction I've had with you has always been positive. It's always been uplifting and cheering on things that we're doing, that you're tuned in and paying attention. So you do that really, really well.
One of the most powerful things you can do for someone is do something free for them. So a lot of times I like to, intentionally, ask if I can share something for them, or if they have an upcoming event, can I promote that for you? Things like that. And just do that as you see those opportunities come up, to do a little bit extra and serve that person. And that builds a lot of trust and rapport.
Absolutely. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. And you have this really, I think it's a hot tip about LinkedIn and an app that they have that we can use in networking. So it's kind of bringing the online and live events together in a really powerful way. Do you mind sharing that with our listeners?
Absolutely. There's actually two little tips. So if you have the LinkedIn app, One thing you can do, this is the most powerful one, is you get in front of the group and you kind of announce, hey, everybody, jump on your LinkedIn app, and you walk them through it. You hit the My Person button. Looks like a little person on the bottom, depending on which operating system you have. And then basically there's a button called Find Nearby. And so I'll walk into a group, and a lot of times my commercial now is I just walk them through that process, and people are just amazed that everybody in the room can connect instantly through that. And people are just blown away, and people that don't have their business cards, I walk them through this process, and we're able to connect. And the other thing is there's actually a QR reader in there as well, where you can generate your own code, and it's right up in the search bar. There's a little funny-looking icon there. You tap that, and you get a QR code that somebody can scan, or you can flip it around and you can scan their code. And so if you're just one-on-one, that's a quick way to do it. You don't have to have Bluetooth enabled or anything, whereas the other one you have to have the Bluetooth enabled. But it's a great party trick.
I love that. And then those connections mean that you're then connected on LinkedIn instantly and can build a rapport and relationship from there. So that's the LinkedIn app. So thank you. Thank you. I just thought that was so powerful when you shared that with me. So I appreciate you sharing it with our listeners today. Any final tip or thought that you want to share with our listeners today that they can help them spring forward in building relationships?
Absolutely. So one of the things, I talked about building a network and building, one of the things when you are looking to connect with like an influencer, say, just to throw one out, Bill Gates, I'm not connected to him yet, but if you, the big thing is going in and doing something either free or building rapport, liking their post, sharing their post. And if you go back and actually find posts that they have like no comments on, like it just was a dead one, and then you like it and comment, they actually get notified of that on their phone. And so what you can do is through consistent little bursts of liking and commenting on multiple of their posts, you basically blow up their phone, metaphorically. And all of a sudden they're like, who is this guy? Who's this Jess guy? Man, I'm like, he's checking and sharing and all this stuff. And by doing that process, you get their eyeballs on you, and eventually, when you feel it's right, then you can start approaching for, a relationship or a connection or things like that. But really just taking the time, and you don't have to do this. I'm not saying you have to spend hours and hours doing this, but you pick 5 people that you want to focus on, and you work on those for, 2-3 weeks before you send that invite, and you spend 2 minutes, to 5 minutes maybe up, clicking like and making a comment.
Beautiful. And just building that. I like that because it can feel a little bit overwhelming. So focusing in on 5 and just doing that for a 5-week period or so, just a couple of minutes at a time can just create such a powerful impact and visibility. Beautiful. Thank you for sharing. I really appreciate it.
No problem.
And listeners, we're ready to go to our next commercial break. So remember, that's actually secretly disguised as 2 minutes for you to stop, pause, breathe, and integrate. Maybe make a note or two of something just shared that can support you in springing forward. We'll look forward to continuing our conversation in just a moment.
Follow us on Twitter at VoiceAmericaTRN. Get the lowdown on guests, new shows, and your favorites. That's VoiceAmericaTRN. Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. That's EmpoweredConnectionsTV.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
There's a new force to be reckoned with in talk radio. It's Not Just Talk Radio, hosted by LaTanya Jr. and co-hosts Tina Wynn and Tony Brown. Not Just Talk Radio is like a superhero, inspiring, problem-solving, and informing, packed with action-provoking conversations from news, movements, and social and politics issues. This program is about a wide range of voices and fresh points of view from experts, celebrities, and you, the listener. Not Just Talk Radio is broadcast live Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, 8 a.m. Pacific on the Voice America Influencers Channel.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at SpeakerTalentSearch.com. That's SpeakerTalentSearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
We don't follow, we lead. Join us, the Voice America Influencers Channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that moment, that break to stop, pause, breathe, and integrate. And I hope you put down a couple of good notes and tips that you can spring forward with as you go back out into the world. And I love that tip about the LinkedIn app. So I hope everybody wrote that down to check that out. And as we're continuing our conversation about springing forward, really living an inspired life, and I believe doing that on purpose and with great purpose, because I believe each of you were made for such a time as this, and there's a reason we're all connecting in today. And our next guest is going to help us kind of tap into supporting ourselves so that we can live an inspired life. We can live on purpose. So let me introduce her to you. So Tamara Dalton is a registered nurse, life coach, author, and an ordained minister. Just a beautiful mixture. And she's a survivor of domestic violence and is passionate about helping you create high self-esteem, find love and joy and purpose to achieve all that you want to achieve and bring forward in your life. Please lean in and warmly welcome the amazing Tamara Dalton to the show. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm glad to be here today.
Welcome. Excited to have you joining us today. And as I was just reading your intro and sharing that to everybody, it just is such a beautiful, warm, rich mixture. I'm really looking forward to the conversation with you today. And I'd love for you to share, why is this work that you do of supporting others to step into that place of high self-esteem, to find confidence, love, joy, and purpose? Why is that personally so important to you?
Well, it is very important to me because I myself suffered at one time from low self-esteem, but I was not aware of it. I never thought that I had low self-esteem because I thought I love myself, because we all think we do. But when we start making certain mistakes, certain things in our lives, and you have to step back and look at it, this is not someone with a high self-esteem. And that's when I myself needed to find help for me, because I just didn't understand how I was making such poor decisions in life. Then I realized I had low self-esteem.
So this is really helpful, because I think it's interesting that you didn't recognize that you had low self-esteem, but it was showing up in your choices and some of the decisions you were making and what was happening that helped lead you to understanding you had low self-esteem. Do you find that's consistent with people that you support and help? That's how it shows up? Or what are ways we can recognize? Because if we don't know we have a challenge, it's hard to get support. How can we recognize that perhaps we're suffering from low self-esteem?
Well, Rebecca, self-esteem is influenced by our self-concept. And it depends on one's perception But self-concept itself is the belief of how a person perceives and describes himself. And it includes our core beliefs about respect, love, giving, receiving, health, money, and so on, and dreams. So when someone, and what someone does and does not deserve, what they will accept. So people with low self-esteem have distorted self-concept and poor perceptions regarding their self-concept.
And
so
what
normally...
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So normally such a belief isn't a person's fault, if they are not aware of it. If it's often created by lack of awareness of the self.
But starting to see patterns, it sounds like, where we're maybe choosing to settle for less than what perhaps we want in our life, that we're not
exactly.
So yeah, and if that's a pattern, how can we start to shift that a little bit? How can we start to build up our self-esteem, and why is that important?
Well, self-esteem is very, very important, because if we, like for me, for instance, like going around, nobody wants to get married and get divorced because you really want to be married forever, for life. But in order to have that, if my self-esteem at that time, if I were aware of my low self-esteem, I would have made different decisions. So for me, it was like meeting a man. He says he loves you, and because of your low self-esteem, you're like, oh my God, maybe he's going to be the last man that's going to say, the word he loves me. So even though you see that this person is not really someone you should be with, but in your mind, well, perhaps there's going to be no more out there who's going to love me. And when you have low self-esteem, it's really a lack of love for yourself, and you don't see things like you should see them. And so some people, they just never wake up. And how to wake up and to change your perception is to see that it's not working for you. If, for instance, if you were married and you divorced and you married the wrong guys and you were in domestic violence, so how is that working for you? So it goes with everything in life. If what you're doing is not bringing you to a higher standard, is not better in your life, then that's when you need to step back and say, I need to change what I'm doing. If you have to get help, if you have to see a life coach, then that's fine, but your self-esteem is not where it should be, because we should not be accepting things that are not good to our standard.
No, and I think this is really important, because a lot of this, we even opened our conversation today, and when we were talking about Mark, that when talking with Mark, that we can raise to this higher self, but a lot of it's in our choices. A lot of it's in taking responsibility for even our perspective and how we're looking at things and the choices we're making. And so I think it's really great to bring to that conversation a look at perhaps our self-esteem is playing into some of that, and where are we can almost be vulnerable with self-esteem and cling to what we want things to be, where they may not actually be that, in that perception that you were talking about, and put us into vulnerable places, or maybe not allowing us to step fully into all that we're wanting to bring forward and into our life. Now, I'd love for you, our time is going very, very quickly, and I know you're an author, you're a writer. I'd love for you to share quickly just some of the work that you're bringing forward that people can be watching for.
Well, we have a conference, and it's called Soul Awakening Conference, and that's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia. Where we're going to pretty much address a lot of the topics, the self-esteem topics, how to build yourself. And I must say it's not just for women, because when we're talking about low self-esteem, people tend to believe that it's just women suffering from low self-esteem. But I like to say that men are suffering with the same issue. They just don't talk about it like women do. So I am welcoming men and women to come to that conference. It's going to be in Atlanta, Georgia, on April 28th. It's going to be on a Sunday. And you can find all information about that if you go to Eventbrite.
People who are looking to connect with any of our amazing experts, you can absolutely do that online. You'll see their information if you go to our host page, and we encourage you to follow and stay connected. And along with your beautiful conference and event coming up in April, we're excited for you. You also have a number of books, absolutely a number of books that you're bringing forward as well. So I believe Tamara and Jess and Mark are all amazing people to lean in and follow and watch. I know that you will be inspired, uplifted, and encouraged by doing so. We're getting ready to go to our next commercial break. I know the time goes so quickly. We'd love for you to take a moment to stop, pause, breathe, and integrate, and think about what's being laid on your heart and spirit. Perhaps have a little check-in on your self-esteem and kind of see where is that, and are those things that you're wanting to bring forward into your life, are those the things that you're allowing in, or perhaps is that something to lean into getting a little support in, because it's not a solo journey. We'll look forward to talking to you in just a moment.
Be sure to friend us on Facebook. You can do it right now. Visit facebook.com/Voice America or search for us at keyword Voice America.
Announcing a powerful new TV channel featuring programs designed to enhance and transform your life. Make powerful connections, one program at a time. And by doing so, we can bring transformation to the world. Tune in each week to Empowered Connections TV as we add new programs to help you make empowered connections of your own. Visit empoweredconnectionstv.com. That's empoweredconnectionstv.com. And make the most of an incredible life transformation.
Get Unchained. Tune in every Monday for Jane Unchained on the Voice America Influencers channel, featuring nationally recognized best-selling author, TV journalist, and social media influencer Jane Velez Mitchell. This program takes you inside a trending lifestyle that's the next wave of human evolution. It all starts on your plate. If you want to revolutionize your life, get happier, more energized, then discover the secret. Tune in to Jane Unchained Mondays at 10 a.m. Pacific Time and 1 p.m. Eastern Time on the Voice America Influencers channel.
Rebecca Hall Gruyter's Speaker Talent Search is looking for speakers wanting to get on more stages. With just one audition, you could open the doors to hundreds of speaking opportunities, reach more people, and expand your impact. Finalists get to audition live in front of leaders looking to fill all kinds of speaking opportunities. Apply now at speakertalentsearch.com. That's speakertalentsearch.com. We look forward to hearing your message.
Have you had a chance to check out Voice America's online magazine and blog? If you love our hosts and shows, check out articles that give an even deeper perspective, plus topics about health and fitness, movie reviews, philosophy, business tips and tactics, spirituality, positive thought, current events, and even more about your favorite host. It's just a click away at blog.voiceamerica.com. That's blog.voiceamerica.com. The Voice America Press Blog. All access, all the time. We don't follow, we lead. Join us, the Voice America Influencers channel.
You're listening to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter. If you have a question or comment for Rebecca or her guest, we'd love to hear from you. Please call into the program at 1-866-472-5795. That's 1-866-472-5795. You may also send an email to Rebecca at yourpurposedrivenpractice.com. Now back to Empowering Women, Transforming Lives.
Welcome back, everyone. I hope you enjoyed that moment to stop, pause, breathe, and integrate. I love what we have been talking about and bringing forward to today, because it's so important to remember we can live an inspired life. We can weave that into our life. But it's important in that to remember the choices that we're making and to look at that and where we need support to bring that in. And that it's not a solo journey. We can build powerful connections, one heart, one step at a time. And I feel like we've been given some really great tips and ways that we can do that. So I hope you've taken a moment to kind of capture some of those thoughts, those things that are spoken into your heart and spirit that you can bring forward as you get ready to go back out into the world. To support you, I asked our amazing guests if we could do one more round of sharing where something that was laid on their heart after they shared with you that they wanted to remind you or wanted to give you as you get ready to go back out into the world. So with that, listen in, tune in as we go around the room. Jess, I would love for you to share your tip or what was laid on your heart to remind our listeners.
Sure. I was just thinking, build your network before you need them. It's so important to have those things in place ahead of time, and then love to have anybody reach out to me. You got the links on your website, and we have a new mastermind starting here shortly. So love to hear from people and to lean in.
Beautiful, beautiful. What an amazing opportunity to connect in with a marketing expert that is relationship driven. So I encourage that. Beautiful. Thank you for welcoming our connections. I appreciate that. Great tip. Tamara, how about you?
Well, I just want everybody to know if you are suffering with low self-esteem, whether you are aware of it or not, just remember that to shine, when you shine the light of awareness on yourself, you see and realize with a magnificent being that you are. And you are the light of God. And let it shine and seek help if it's really bad. And so you can build that self-esteem so you can be whole and be at your best.
And shine even brighter. I love it.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. And Mark, how about you?
I want to share with everyone, regardless of where each one of us is right now, currently in our lives, regardless of what the results were from the last step you took, trust the next step you take towards manifesting your highest good goals and desires.
Oh, beautiful. Trusting that next step. Beautiful. Thank you. And listeners, as you're getting ready to step back out into the world, I want to remind you that you are beautifully, wonderfully made, on purpose and for a purpose, and you are absolutely needed for such a time as this. And you are that light. We all have that opportunity to shine, to share the gift of who you are with others. Don't be hard to find. Be willing to share the gift of who you are. You are so needed, so precious, and so important. There's nobody else just like you. So as you get ready to go back out into the world, I want to encourage you to be willing to shine your light brightly, powerfully. Be willing to reach out and make those connections. So many people would love to connect and sometimes just need somebody to initiate and start that connection. And that it's not a solo journey. You can have support along the journey, connecting and uplifting you, so that wherever you go, whatever you do, may you always choose to bloom where you're planted and shine powerfully and beautifully out into the world. We'll look forward to talking to you next time. Have a beautiful week, everyone. Bye.
Thank you for joining us this week for Empowering Women, Transforming Lives. Please tune in again for another edition with your host, Rebecca Hall Gruyter, next Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 11 a.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Influencers Channel. And join us for a replay of the show every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific, on the Voice America Empowerment Channel. Have a beautiful week, and may you always bloom where you're planted and shine.